You recently found out about this concept called Amazon FBA, and you want to set up your own store on Amazon in the UAE and start making passive income. What are the steps that you need to follow? All the details in today's video. Keep on watching. There are a lot of steps that you need to follow in order to set up your own successful store on Amazon using the part of actually setting up your store and starting your Amazon FBA journey is finding a product. Let's think about this for a moment. Why exactly should you find a product? And why do we actually have to do product research on Amazon in the UAE? As a first-time seller, it's not really a good idea to just choose any random product and try to sell it on Amazon in the UAE. For sure, Amazon in the UAE, on Amazon.ae, gets around 15 to 14 million visitors every single month, and that's according to similarweb.com. However, why should you reinvent the wheel when all the information is actually on Amazon itself? You simply have to choose a product that is already successful on Amazon in the UAE and simply add your twist to it. No, you should not be a copycat and you should not sell the same exact product as somebody else, because you'd be fishing in a Red Sea and you'd be actually competing head to head with somebody else, and that's not always a very good idea. So what you can do is just take a product that's already successful on Amazon in the UAE and just basically make it your own. There are a few criteria, however, that you need to really watch out for when you're doing product research. Number one, the product has to have a certain BSR. BSR, or best seller rank, is the ranking that Amazon gives every single product found on its platform. The lower the number, the more the product is actually selling. The higher the number, the less the product is selling. So, a product with a BSR of 1 is very successful and selling a lot, whereas a product with a BSR of 5,000 isn't doing as well as the product with the number 1 BSR. You need to find a product that has a BSR between 20 and 200. Higher than 20 means the product is very competitive and it's not going to be very easy for you to compete. Lower than 200 means that the product is not selling that much and it's probably not worth your while. Number 2, the product shouldn't have a lot of reviews, mainly not more than 100 reviews. Reviews is something that is fairly new to Amazon.ae, so you're not going to find it very hard to find a product with less than 100 reviews. However, you need to watch out for that, because the more reviews means that the product has a long sales history and it's going to be harder to compete with this product. The third criteria, you need to look for a product that is not very heavy. It has to be a maximum of 1 kilo or less. The heavier the product, the more it's going to cost you to ship it to the Amazon FBA warehouse in the UAE, and it's also going to eat from your profits because of the FBA fees. So the fulfillment fees from the Amazon system or the Amazon FBA program are based on the weight and size of your product. So the heavier the product, the more Amazon is going to charge you for fulfilling your product. That's why try to find a product that's 1 kilo or less. This product in the pet food and accessories category it's a cat tunnel, and it has only 21 ratings or 21 reviews. Some people leave reviews and some people just leave stars, which is known as ratings. The BSR is actually 27, so that's good. And the shipping weight is 472. So this is 472 grams. So this is a product that potentially it has 13, here you can see it has 13 customer reviews. So it's a potential product that I can actually sell on Amazon.ae but I need to just differentiate it a little bit from the current product here that's being sold by this seller. Step number 2 is finding a supplier. Now that you've decided on the product that you want to sell, you need to find a manufacturer to supply this product for you. One of the major websites that people normally use, that sellers normally use in order to find manufacturers, is Alibaba.com. It's a very well-established website, and there's a lot of manufacturers that you can find on Alibaba. They don't have to be Chinese. You can filter and choose whatever country you want to supply your products from. You can also use Trade India if you want to find suppliers in India, or you can use thomasnet.com if you want to find suppliers in the US. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be talking about Alibaba.com. So you do a search and you're going to find thousands of manufacturers that can give you the product that you want, that can supply the product that you want. But you need to start contacting them because you want to find out about MOQ, which is minimum order quantity. You want to start negotiating prices. You want to get more information about the product and how you can actually differentiate it from the product that is now being sold on Amazon.ae. You need to contact these suppliers. It's not always easy to remember everything that you want to ask them. That's why you need to work off a template that you can just send, and it has all the questions that you need. I'm going to give you this template, a basic template. You just need to open the description box and you can download the template that I normally use in order to contact these suppliers. You need to choose the supplier based on how quickly they answer you, because some suppliers take 5 to 6 days to answer you back, and that's not acceptable because we need somebody that can move quickly. Time is money when it comes to selling and working on Amazon.ae. You also want to make sure that your supplier answers with more than just a word, because you want to build a relationship with somebody that's gonna help you as a first-time seller. The great thing about Alibaba is that you can use a system called trade assurance, meaning that Alibaba is actually a middleman. You don't have to directly wire transfer the money to the supplier. You just pay through what is known as trade assurance, and then the supplier gets paid if everything is legal and everything is legitimate, and when you get your products to Amazon in the UAE. That's the best system that Alibaba have created in order to just basically make sure that you don't get scammed. You also can pay through PayPal. A lot of suppliers don't actually want you to pay through PayPal because PayPal charges are very high, but you might as well ask and see if they're willing to do that for you. One thing that you can do in order to change your product and make it a little bit different is bundling. So you can sell, for example, this mug with this London mug, and you can sell it with another mug, or you can sell it with a tea strainer, for example, and just differentiate it from every single mug with a London print that you can currently find on Amazon.ae. And in order to do that, you can find a supplier. Obviously, suppliers are huge in China or wherever you're going to supply your products, and they normally have complementary products. So you can talk to one supplier, let's call him supplier A, and supplier A can give you product 1 and product 2 and bundle them up into one package, into one order, or into one product. Or you can find a product from supplier A and a product from supplier B, ship your product from supplier A to supplier B, and put 1, 2 together into one single item to sell on Amazon in the UAE. Step number 3 is creating a listing. You did your product research, you found a manufacturer. The most important part of selling on Amazon.ae is creating a listing. Now it's time to actually start selling on Amazon.ae. And in order to do that successfully, you need to have a good listing. Remember, your listing, your product listing is your storefront on Amazon.ae. So if it's ugly, if it's depressing, if it doesn't look good, people are not gonna buy it. Don't think just because you have a good product, people are gonna automatically buy it. You have to convey the great things about your product to the customer that is looking at so many products currently available on Amazon.ae. You need to make sure that in your listing, you have the right keywords. Keywords are very important because this is how people are actually going to find your product in the first place on Amazon.ae. You have to have amazing images. Images are very important, and image quality is very, very important to your success on Amazon.ae. Make sure your images are 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels so they can be zoomable. That means they're high quality and high resolution. You need to have lifestyle pictures, you need to have before and after pictures, you need to identify your customers' pain points and make sure to show them through your images, through your pictures, that your product can solve their problem. Images are very important. And you also need to make sure you create the right title, you create the right bullet points, you create the right description, the right copywriting in order to sell your product and in order for people to basically buy your product. You sometimes need professional help in order to create the right copywriting and to create good, high quality images. You can use Upwork.com, you can use 99designs.com, you can even use Fiverr.com. I don't recommend Fiverr.com because normally it's a little bit low quality, and the freelancers working on Fiverr.com normally aren't the best. But I recommend you try Upwork.com or use a service, a local service, somebody you know that's a graphic designer or a good copywriter. You can ask them to help you out. You created your listing. Now it's time to actually ship your products from your manufacturer all the way to the Amazon FBA warehouse in the UAE. The amazing part of this business, of this Amazon FBA business, is that it's completely hands-off. You don't need to do anything other than find a product and just list it on Amazon. And Amazon, through their FBA program, they handle everything. They pack the product, they ship the product to the customer, and then you get paid. So it's a very simple process. Shipping is a little bit difficult for me to talk about in this video, so I will leave it for another video. But there's a system called shipping plan inside of your Amazon Seller Central. You essentially create a shipping plan, and through the shipping plan, you can send your products from your manufacturer, wherever that manufacturer is, all the way to the Amazon FBA warehouse in the UAE. Now it's time to actually launch your product. It's not enough for you to simply list your product on Amazon.ae and then wait for people to find it and buy it. Because don't forget that there are a lot of sellers currently selling on Amazon.ae. So if you just list your product, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be on the 3rd or 4th page. People aren't gonna find you, and you're not gonna see sales. You're not gonna feel like you're successful. What you need to do is you need to have a plan, a launch plan, when you first start selling on Amazon.ae. You need to do what is known as PPC ads, pay-per-click ads. They are the ads that you see on Amazon. When you search for products, you see sponsored ads. They are very important because people are gonna find your products faster than they would if you were on the 3rd or 4th page. I also highly recommend that you do Instagram ads, because that way Amazon sees that you have outside traffic going into your listing. And that's very important for the Amazon algorithm. Even if you don't have sales from your ads, it's still important that people click and go into your listing, because what's going to happen is you're going to see your rank dramatically improve through people just simply clicking on your product. It's definitely better if they do purchase. However, for the launching plan, this is not what we want. We want to have your ranking go higher and higher as fast as possible, so that you're on the first page and people can organically discover you and buy your product. You also need to do something called a giveaway. In order to do a giveaway, the easiest way would be to purchase gift cards on Amazon.ae that are equivalent to the price of your product, and then send them. You don't have to have a physical gift card. They are email gift cards, and then send them to random people that you know in the UAE and ask them to purchase your product as a gift for free. So they're not going to be buying anything from their own pocket. They're just going to be buying your product. And that way, Amazon, in the first few hours of your product being live, they're going to see that people are purchasing your product, which means your product is a very successful product according to the Amazon algorithm. How many gift cards should you give away and how many people need to purchase your product depends on the first person in, or the first product in your category. So if you want to be number one, you have to sell as much as the number one product is selling. So if the number one product is selling 30 products a day, for example, then you have to give away 30 products every day. If they're selling 300, then you don't have to be number one. You can still be number 2, 3, 4, or 5. You're still going to be making a lot of sales. Just this is how you can compete and actually penetrate the market that you're selling in. Last thing you need to do is optimize your listing. So you're doing well and you're successful, but it doesn't mean that you have to rest and relax, because there are new sellers every single day trying to compete with you and other sellers on Amazon.ae. So you always need to make sure that your listing is optimized. You can do something called A/B split testing. Basically, you can split test your listing. You cannot possibly know what your customers are looking for. We're talking about 15 or 14 million customers a month. You cannot possibly understand what these people are specifically looking for. Why not test the market and see what resonates better with your customers? So you can do A/B split testing for your listing. You also need to make sure that you're getting reviews. Reviews are very important. A lot of people don't buy a product unless it has reviews or before they go through the reviews. In order to get reviews, it's something a little bit tough on Amazon in general and on Amazon.ae, of course, as well. You have an application inside your Amazon Seller Central called Feedback Whiz. You can use this application in order to send emails to people who have purchased your product, asking them to leave you a review. The tough thing about leaving a review is that most customers don't know where they need to leave a review, where they actually leave a review. So sometimes it's not a good thing because they want to leave you a good review. They're happy, they like the product, but they're not really tech savvy. They don't know where to leave a review. This email that is going to be sent out by Feedback Quiz makes life simple, because all they need to do is just click on a button that says, leave me a review. And it just establishes a good relationship with your customer, and it's done automatically. That's the great thing about it. So you don't have to actually send the emails yourself. Feedback Quiz does it for you, and it's approved, 100% approved by Amazon.ae, but you need to make sure that you don't send more than 5 emails per customer. That's the maximum that Amazon allows. The last step and the best step is actually getting paid. Amazon pays you every 15 days, and they automatically send the money to your bank account. After that happens, you need to start the process all over again, because you need to, or you should be growing your business and adding more and more products into your Amazon.ae store.